Welcome back to Grit Gym. This is the Rachel and Adam Show where we talk about all things regarding your health in terms of your relationship. And if you go through this thing together, if you go through working out, getting clear with your nutrition, your recovery, your sleep, in terms of your sleep and how you're going to go through your day and helping each other get over stressful situations. And what's the last one? Oh, and your mindset stuff. You go into that together, then you grow as a couple and you grow as an individual. I'm a little bit more of a thinker, and Rachel's a little bit more of a feeler, so we get two different perspectives on the show. And we try to, I try to play devil's advocate, but I don't always do a great job. But anyway, we're talking about love languages today. You want to nail me with the 5? What are they?
Well, the love languages, if people don't know, it's like a book that it was by a marriage counselor, I believe. And he came up with these 5 common reasons why people were not feeling loved because they have 5 different languages. So the 5 languages.
Yeah, it was a medium that they didn't.
Hold on.
Is someone getting a call?
Oh, I accepted it.
She answered a call. But the 5 love languages were like, what's the language that you use to communicate your affection, your love, your care for the other individual? And this person came up with the book. They came up with 5 different ways. And we're going to go, so what are the 5?
I don't know.
Like if you have kids, it wouldn't include, and you're trying to be with just your spouse, it wouldn't include your kids because when you're kids, you're actually co-parents. You're not.
Yeah, exactly.
You're co-parents. You're not actually. You're a different level of your relationship.
Or even if you're watching a movie, that's technically not quality time because it's interrupted. It's supposed to be uninterrupted time together.
Yeah, like this isn't what we would consider quality time.
It could be a form of it, but it's not uninterrupted quality time. Like I enjoy your company without anything else around, and you enjoy my company without anybody else around or anything, any distraction.
Right.
Partners, and you don't know that, and you're
Yes.
constantly trying to show them love in the way that you like receiving love,
Yes.
then they will not feel like they're being loved because you're not showing them their love language.
Yeah.
So say your husband is out doing the lawn and mowing the grass and vacuuming and cleaning and blah blah blah, and you're just like, oh, you won't spend any time with me.
You mean
You know
like
what I mean?
if
He's showing his love.
Yeah.
He's thinking he's showing his love by doing acts of service, which is probably something that he enjoys himself. But really, her love language is quality time. All she wants is to be shown.
Yeah.
Like that time that they spend together is important to him.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I think this is where they err. I think like right there is where the big error is. And most people are like, no, they just need to know each other's language and then everything will be fine because then he'll spend quality time and she'll
yeah, if you are constantly looking for what you're missing, then you're missing out on the things that you're being given as far as the affection.
Yeah, and I think that's in your scenario where the wife was quality time and the husband was acts of service, and he keeps showing her acts, like doing acts of service, but she's not seeing it, and she's quality time. Then she plays like in your scenario, she played the victim game of like, why doesn't he want to spend any time with me? He should know this. And it's like, one, maybe you didn't ask.
This is also an exaggerated, like we're not thinking
clarity.
We're just thinking
I don't think
extreme examples so that we can see like just the little tiny things that we kind of just miss that our spouse may do just to show us that they care. We want to be able to acknowledge that and
scenario, but
I mean, well, do you want to talk
real
about
quick?
what?
Can you guys put your love language down below if you know what it is? If it's acts of service, think of try to think through all 5 of them and go, if someone did something really nice for me, would I just if someone touched me on the back, would I just melt? If someone said, gave me a compliment, would I just be like, oh my gosh, that felt so good? If what are the others? So it's acts of service, quality time. If just spending time with
But like knowing these and knowing what your partner is wanting as well is, I think it's pretty beneficial.
Super
beneficial. If that could be like the one thing that changes, I mean, I would hope that it wouldn't hurt anybody's relationship to know these.
I've never seen Joanne and I were talking about this last night or the night before, and we were talking about has there ever been, I guess it's Tuesday, so we were talking about last night, has there ever been a situation where more knowledge was actually bad? It's like
sometimes. I don't know.
I
don't know. It depends on the knowledge, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
Certain things I would rather not know.
It's just like I found out and I was like, oh God, Yeah, never mind.
Wait, okay, so who is the author?
A fault in, then you get to capitalize on it, or you get to work on it and try to improve upon it. And you find out a virtue, it's like, okay, well, I can capitalize upon that virtue.
Well, if you're working super hard at doing this thing, like the guy outside doing if he's working super hard trying to get the point across that he loves his wife, he's doing this for her. When all he needs to do is spend some time with her, wouldn't you think that you would want to understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she would too, I would think. If it wasn't getting, like, it would really kill me inside if you thought that I didn't care about you. Like, that would suck. It would so bad.
Anybody would feel like that too.
Yeah, it'd be like, why are you in a relationship then?
Yeah, if someone that was in a relationship said, I never feel any sort of
People that don't, like, that's the number one, like, aside from marriage is the number one cause of divorce. But aside from marriage, the number one reason for divorce is that my spouse does not pay attention to me. Mm-hmm. They didn't pay attention to the relationship, or they didn't pay attention to the spouse. So one or the other. That's the number one reason. And so if you're going to have a great, incredible relationship, you have to pay attention to each other.
Yeah. Well, that also happens, I know, with having kids too. It kind of takes the attention away from. Mm-hmm. So if your thing is quality time and I don't know what are the other ones.
You only spend quality time.
Yeah, if the quality time is all of a sudden shifted to just the kids, then that's a big red flag. That person is going to feel absolutely no affection. And like, how would you feel if that was what your spouse was feeling? Yeah, all of a sudden, just because of your kids. Obviously, you want to spend time with your kids. And I
think that's like a deep, like, kind of thing that I can't see. That is one of the reasons for not wanting you to get a dog.
Oh my god!
Or I'm like, no, I'm gonna be selfish. I want, like I want her to me still. Like, I don't want to be like dividing this up with a goddamn dog jumping in between us when we're on, watching a movie or something. Like, no.
Yeah. Well, that's like a kid.
Yeah, I'm being a kid at that point.
A kid would only be worse.
Yeah, a kid would only be worse, yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't know, I was listening to this conversation the other day. Basically, this, the wife and the husband were fighting because she wouldn't go get him something. And she's like, no, you go get it yourself. And then he also asked, hey, can you hang out with me and like pay attention to me? And she's like, oh, okay, right after I'm done working on this thing. And then the kid comes in and says, Mom, help me with this. And she's like, okay. And then she leaves and he's like, what the hell? Like, in that moment, he was asking her. He was asking her over and over again for her affection, for her her love. And I mean, if you have a relationship without love and affection, what do you have?
I don't know. That's not a very fun relationship.
I don't think it's a relationship at that point anymore.
It's something.
Is it?
It depends on how you define relationship, but
yeah.
But like, I don't want to be in a situation like that.
Mm-mm. Well, at that moment, it might have seemed like, no, go get it yourself. But it wasn't about the thing he was asking her to go get.
Yeah.
It was about
I
her
think
doing
we-
something nice for him.
I think people, like just humans in general, across the board, I think we do that kind of stuff more often than we think. Where we're like one time, this is kind of funny, but like I hadn't been home in a while. You know, I tend to kind of go workaholic, and I just work and work and work and work and work. Lose all track of people in my life. Like don't talk to my parents. Like barely see her. You know, like I just get in this space where it's just like I don't see people for like months, and it was snowing outside, and I happened to the lawnmower here. My lawnmower had happened to break down. This is a long time ago, and so I used my dad's, and he came up to. He was like, "Hey, I'm up here I'm up here in Iowa City. I'm going to come by and grab that lawnmower." Like it was snowing outside. He didn't need the lawnmower. He just was coming by. He just wanted to see his son, right?
Oh yeah.
And I was just like straight up but he needed an excuse. Like I think we all do that on some level. He wanted to spend some time with his son, and I was like, I'm working right now. I gotta go. And I didn't even think about it until
know
like
how to say I want
weeks
to hang out.
later. Yeah, till like weeks later, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm a jerk. You know?
Well, kind of the same thing. Like, yeah, it doesn't have to be like a loving, like a romantic relationship. It's with friends and family too.
Mm-hmm.
Like with my sister, how I told you, we didn't get along for like 2 or 3 years. Because, and then all of a sudden, like some of her friends we're basically in the same grade. So obviously we have some mutual friends.
Yeah, you're a year apart.
She would see her friends hanging out with me, and she would just get furious. And I thought it was because she thought that I was taking her friends, but it was because I wasn't hanging out with her.
Yeah.
And I would invite them to come and hang out with us just so that we could have like a third wheel, and it wasn't just me and Elena just like hanging out. Like I thought she didn't want to hang out with me, but really she wanted me all to herself. Mm-hmm. And I didn't notice it until two of my friends like pointed it straight out to me, and I was like, no, what are you talking about? No, that doesn't make sense. She doesn't like me. She just doesn't like me. She just is annoyed with me. But
really, she was
second,
looking for your attention.
Yeah, I asked her. They were like, just call her up and ask her to go to a movie by yourselves. You have to say by yourselves. And I was like, oh my god, how awkward. Like, how would you feel if the person that you thought didn't like you was going to go to a movie with you? You know what I mean? To me, I wasn't convinced.
It's confusing though, because
no, it was very confusing.
She didn't know how to ask for attention, like
except
how do
being
any
mean.
of us do. And so she would like be mean to you because this is the only way that she could get your attention, and that worked. And it's like, but the message that came through to you was like, she's being a terrible person to me. She must hate me. When really she was just like, why can't we hang out anymore?
Yeah, it was like the
it's because you were just young, dumb teenagers. But
with my sister relationship, I guess it was insane. What'd she say?
Shaw said that mine are a tie between quality time and words of affirmation.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what are yours? What's
I wanted
yours?
to ask you first.
You wanted to ask me? I'm a full blown quality time. Words, don't believe them. Acts of service, I'm like, crap. Now I'm obligated to you. Gifts, I'm obligated to you. What's the other one?
Acts of service.
No. Oh, touch. Physical touch. Like I would say that physical touch and quality time are by far my biggest two. But.
I'd say.
Oh wow! Aaron said that the author wrote a book on it for kids.
Oh,
I'd like to pick that up.
That's cool.
Interesting.
Like for the kids to read or about kids?
Good question.
Yeah, is it for the parents about kids? But that's the thing too. They were saying like the what was the one? Receiving gifts.
side by side, and you ask people which one is the better one. If the only thing that they change is they increase the size of the pupil slightly, almost everybody will pick the one with the bigger pupil.
Because she's more attractive.
Yeah, because she's more attractive.
Isn't that like a sexual thing, right?
A sexual thing?
Well, like
it's an attraction thing.
Yeah, but when you have like when you're aroused, your pupils
Yeah, it's
dilate.
the same reason that you put black that you have. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a nice thing. What did Joanne say?
No, Erin. She said it's about kids.
No,
it's not for kids.
Joanne.
Oh, Joanne. Joanne said acts of service and quality time, not real big talkers in my family. Imagine that.
True. Well, quality time is like
Quality time can be silent.
It can also be like sitting and talking, like not just hanging out and staring into each other's eyes.
You want eye gaze? I'm down for. Brain is just like, and it's going nuts over all of them because it's like 12 different like people trying to analyze the one thing, and I'm controlling all of them.
I get it.
And it's really, really difficult, but it's super fun at the same time.
Yeah, I get it.
That's like Muskrat.
I don't know what
Stop.
that is.
From Meet the Fockers when one of them wanted to stop the other one from talking. Muskrat is like, stop talking.
I didn't.
They're like, you have to add consequence to a kid's actions. Kids need consequence. And then the other side, they say, no, you need to lavish the praise on all the good stuff that they do. And it's like, it's not an either or. It's a both. You have to do both of those things.
I'm not saying.
And so there has to be consequence, but there also has to be. That's like people keep themselves in check pretty well. Like if somebody does something stupid, somebody goes, like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't have to be much, but at least it keeps them in check from being a total jackass.
Yeah. So. Somebody is giving you their form of their love language, and you don't ever acknowledge it, then they're not going to want